Hey guys, just a quick disclaimer. As always, we do not claim to be therapists or counsellors. We are just sharing our stories of experiences that we have had from someone with lived experience and someone who is a researcher and a practitioner. When you are listening to these stories, please take care of yourselves, as they can be a little bit heavy. There's some funny stories in there as well. Obviously, we are open to positivity in the comment section, please. Like I said, these are all truly based off people's lived experiences. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Love you, bye. Hi guys, welcome back to our episode of Voices Unlocked. Like the last time, cannot remember what episodes we're up to, but who cares, because we've got a very special guest on today. We have Carla.
Thank you for having me.
Hey Carla. She said she's nervous. She's got absolutely nothing to be nervous about because she's a natural.
And not when I'm with you guys.
Yeah,
no, always helps.
You're an absolute natural. How have you been?
Not bad. Busy. Plodding along with life and being busy. Missing you guys.
I miss you so
much. And all
much.
the other little ones.
I know we haven't seen you. I feel like I haven't seen you for ages.
I know. I
feel
need to
like
come
so
again.
much has
You
changed.
do, you should.
Do I have
Summer.
Thursdays off work now when we do a half-term one.
That was good
Oh,
timing.
you should come on a Thursday. It'd be so nice. But yeah, so to start, what I'd like to ask is, how do you know Lorna? Lorna, how do you know Carla? How did this?
How did this beautiful relationship come together?
Before I absolutely trashed the mic.
So Carla came on placement many years ago at Time Matters when you were training to be a social worker.
I was. And I feel like a little bit it was faith, weren't it? Because I was in uni. I got to put what I wanted out of my first, what's it called?
Placement.
It's been that long. Oh, that's so bad. My first placement, and I'd put out what I really wanted to work with young people, and that it didn't even come up with people in prison and stuff like that. And then obviously got accepted on yours, went and met you, and then just naturally felt like quite at home. Obviously, I've been dead open with yous, and we've had a chat that I'd had lived experience, and you didn't know that. I didn't know what your yous were all about. Got there and was like, oh my God, I've done prison visits. I'd done that when I was a kid. I'd been in and out. So then it just something in my soul and heart just felt natural as well and at ease. And then it just blossomed from there, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it was I literally was within 0.05 seconds of meeting you, I was like, oh my God, you're perfect for Time Matters. And you were one of the very first people we had on placement. And I remember at the time when I was navigating accepting students on placement, I obviously know, and you've interestingly alluded to it during the episodes, that, families are often quite terrified of social services and social workers. And so when the university approached me and said, would you like to take student trainee social workers on placement for Time Matters, there was a bit of my head that was going, oh, the families aren't going to like that. Somebody training to be a social worker, that it might make them feel quite fearful, or they might not feel that they can be open, in the groups about what they want to say. But then I was like, but actually, if people have had difficult experiences in the past with social workers, what better opportunity do we have to introduce social work trainees into our kind of, Time Matters family to help them to be the best social workers for children with parents in prison as possible. And then you come along and you were like, I've got lived experience. My dad used to be in prison.
I did not know you had lived experience until today.
We talked about it, hadn't we, when we done the counselling sessions together? We didn't counsel, we trained to be.
Oh yeah, you did the level 2 counselling.
Did we? Did I do that?
Yeah, listen, just you've had a lot going on. You might just not have processed it.
Either way, yeah. So when I've been watching your podcast, I'd done lots of prison visits.
Oh my God, yeah, you did. I remember the conversation that we had. Sorry, that was so rude of me.
Don't be silly.
No, I'm so sorry. My brain just went. I was like,
you're a busy bee.
I'm sitting there thinking, Carla's got lived experience. And then that just literally just broke. We were in at the Access to Education building, and we partnered up together.
Yeah,
and we did the count. And that's when I found.
Course, that wasn't it?
That's when I found out about it.
Yeah,
I didn't know prior to that.
Yeah, so I'd done lots of visits as a kid, and when I was listening to yours, actually, I can't remember my first time ever going. It was just always sort of there, but I just remember going in and then the doors getting locked behind you and everybody's stuck in this little bit, and then someone wiggling the way through and then opening the other door and being really that just feels so different than anything I'd ever experienced before. And then the prison I'd been in, it was a male one, and everyone was in double denim, and even then I was thinking that's not a good look.
Oh, I love double denim.
It's come back round now, though.
I feel like what would they call
The 90s
Bewitched?
are back.
Is that what they're called?
Oh, I like Bewitched.
I would love Bewitched. I feel like then when I wear double denim all the
They used
time.
to do it all the time, actually, didn't
They
they?
loved a little bit of
they
double
did.
denim.
Yeah. So, like, when I come along, it just felt dead natural and, like, really just at ease with everybody. And I think it helped my side that they understood. And when I was thinking about coming on here and things I wanted to, like, have a little chat about, I think I have never seen a group of kids and young people so much, like, there for each other. Like,
That's
how
so true.
they are. Like, even my little one, they just brought in and, like, he was just part of the group and team. They are just so supportive and so amazing for each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
I
That is
love
definitely
that.
the magic
Yeah.
of how
Yeah.
I remember you
People
bringing your little
support
one on
each other.
PGL. When we went to the PGL and he came on the PGL. Oh,
he was cute, wasn't he?
Cute.
He was
was he
brave.
like 4 or something when you
baby.
did
He
that?
probably
He
was.
was tiny.
He probably was.
And he was like joined to your hip the entire time.
He's
But
still like that,
then-
Liv.
Is he? But then I think it was one of the other kids, there's a child, well, a young person now who goes to Time Matters, and he's so good with kids.
Yeah,
He's so good, you know, I'm
brilliant.
talking
Yeah,
about him,
you
yeah.
know we were talking
You know,
about
yeah.
Time Matters followers.
So good with kids, and he started to like he'd lean off a little bit, but then he'd still be like, "Where's my mum? Where's my mum? Where's my mum?"
I've never seen him more comfortable with a group of
Yeah.
people than that. Like,
loved
ever. And he just
I
fit in. He
remember
was
your
going off
fear.
with the older ones.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much everyone carried him everywhere?
Yeah, I carried him
Like,
everywhere. I just
'cause
constantly.
he was so cute,
I
everyone
know.
wanted to hold
I
him.
just constantly held him. I constantly was picking him up and walking around beach. Yeah.
It's like give me a turn to hold him.
But that, like, group is just beautiful together, isn't it?
Yeah.
It actually
Yeah.
is. It's like
There's no judgment. There's no, you know, and it's so much happiness and, like, nice. And even when some of the stories are a bit sad, it's the giggling, like the telling, you know, and then they take the raw bits emotionally serious when it's
Yeah.
needed. It's
Yeah.
like they really get onto emotions really well, don't they?
I say this all the time, and I said this in an event, weirdly enough, yesterday, is that people, when I say, oh, I help kids with parents in prison, one of the most common responses is, oh God, that must be so sad. That must be so hard. And I'm always like, do you know what? Of course it is. Your heart breaks to see kids upset, but there's so much joy.
Yeah.
There's so much happiness in what we do.
And I think, you know, we've touched on it before between us, haven't we, with the media, and the media represent this like villain almost, isn't it? And that's not what we live with. It's not what we see the day to day. So that can be quite hard as well, isn't it? When it's coming
Yeah.
across and you're reading the papers with your, like, I've had my new address and name and stuff in the paper, and it was hard to have that like
it's a lot.
experience. And then people, you can see everyone talking about you in the street, and you're like, you've
So
got that like,
hard.
oh, you know, you don't want to look anywhere and talk. But so it's a difficult one, isn't it?
It's so hard, and I just love how much our families loved you as well. People to this day will always go, oh, remember Carla? Carla was amazing, and just how loved and accepted. You have to come back. You need
I
to come
really,
back.
really
There's
want
people
to.
Lorna
there.
went to me before. She went, Carla's coming. Do you remember Carla? I went, of course I remember Carla. Of course
I
I
have got
remember her.
such a soft spot for everybody. Like, just
Like, you must come back, because you will.
got it.
People are still attend. Nobody ever. Once you come to Time Matters, by the way, you never leave.
I know.
So
I'm 25
everybody's
forever.
still there.
25, been going since I was 8, 26 this year. So
Yeah,
you don't
honestly,
actually
come and
leave.
visit us.
And even though I was working there, which was a joy, and I learned lots, I just felt part of the, like, I was learning loads as well, because I didn't realise that many people and that many children were like affected with people they loved in jail either. So it was new for me.
What was it like for you to obviously have lived experience and having to like deal with lived experience, but then now you're on placement in a support group of a bunch of little kids, young kids of all ages?
It never felt difficult.
Did
It
it
never
not?
felt like, because I'm quite an open book anyway, and even still in my role now, I will talk about the things I've been through. I think I'm not sitting there as a social worker expecting people to open up and tell me their whole lives and not putting any of that back. It's not natural, is it?
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't work
exactly.
like that. And I think we've all been through things in life, and I find that's why most of us come into this like kind of role and job, isn't it? Because we've been through stuff and we want to make a difference and want to make a change. So it just felt dead natural with them all. I think I was learning lots. Like, I remember going into school and doing some work with, like, we were doing a bit of Chinese whispers games of, you know, like how much the media changes things and like learning it from that, which was quite good to do and see how fast it changed between us.
Yeah, that's such a good idea, actually. I might play that Chinese whispers again with everybody. And then tell us, you know, just to debunk some of the myths around social workers and things like that.
We need to get into that because I've literally said in the last episode, I was one of them children who hated social workers. Hated them. Elaine the Pain done me head in.
That's what you called that?
Yeah, every social worker was Elaine the Pain to me. I said to Lorna, so, I mean, I'd always think a social worker was coming out to see me and I'd go, oh, Elaine the Pain. Didn't know who it was, didn't care who it was.
Did you have quite a few?
I think I have three social workers. Well, there was one who come to see me who I loved. Her name was Eileen.
I think she referred you to me.
Yeah, but then there was two other people I seen one before that, and then my case got given to Eileen, and then Eileen didn't see me long, and I didn't need a social worker. But she'd show up and I'd go, oh, Elaine the Pain. Elaine the Pain, and then I'd see her and I'd go, why are Eileen, you okay? I'd call her Elaine the Pain behind her back. But I loved Tracy Beaker when I was a kid. So because of the way Tracy Beaker was, and she was like, bog off Elaine, like I always used to hate social workers. Like it was just embedded in my head. Now that I'm in residential care and I work with children in residential care and I see the amount of caseloads and everything that I only have to look after them 2 kids, but their social workers have 30 plus cases. So I've got a different amount of respect for social workers.
That's nice to hear, and it's nice to see that. I hope the narrative is changing around it, because I do appreciate that it comes with a stigma, and it does come with, and we are the ones that are delivering bad news and telling stories that aren't always nice, but obviously lots of the things are above me. So I always try and just be myself, be mindful that they're going through a hard time and being as kind as you can, and put myself in other people's shoes a lot, because I think when I was a child, one of my biggest fears, and I dreamt about it loads, was getting on the bus and my mum being off and the door shut and the bus used to drive away. It was absolutely irrational. It come from nowhere. And I think these kids are going through that. Them bus doors are shutting and their mums are left behind and their parents are left behind and we're moving them. It's petrifying. Yeah. But there's so many they're they're just beautiful kids. They're so lovely, and even the ones that are having hard times, I don't judge. I don't think bad. I think they're having them hard times because they've been through stuff. It's how they're coping and their behaviours, isn't it? And that's fine as well.
Yeah, and that's who you are as a person. You're just such a like an empath and non-judgmental person, which is why, you know, one, you fit right into Time Matters, but 2, I know how much value you'll bring to your role and your. Do you enjoy your job? Or?
I do, and because obviously the thing I come into this role for was because I love to spend time with kids and young people. I don't get to do that as much as I'd like because it's a lot more paperwork than I anticipated. But I still do get really lovely time with them, and it is lovely, and it's nice to. Even sometimes after a hard day, you think, okay, I've made a change. Like that little bit is some big in someone else's like life, and then that moment. And if we can do something that's a little bit kinder and a little bit nicer, that's worth it, isn't it? It
is. It's like when you do something that you think, oh, I might have helped someone in that day. Like let's face it, I go home and I feel more whole in my own self as well. So it's you know, what goes around comes around, and you know, it's true. It's healing for all of us, isn't it?
I've been a social worker for just nearly 4 years now, and I don't often tell people. I'll say I'll work with the council because it comes like straight away with stigma, And even if someone goes, oh, there's a social worker, I go, oh, myself.
They're like, remember, you know, like stay away from them.
I am actually a social worker. I actually do that role.
We are human. We are normal.
No, I think in the work I do, I've just finished me, what's it called? Endpoint assessment to me level 4 for a residential support worker role. Been in the job for like 2 years now. Should have finished that about 6 months ago, but when am I ever on time, Carla? Let's be honest, you know what I mean? Better late to the party.
Never.
Literally. But I did my first care planning meeting and PEP meeting with one of the kids' social workers, and that drained me. That was a lot of making decisions for what was best for them kids. Like I said before, 2, I have to look after 2 children. These social workers have 30 plus cases of making decisions for these kids that necessarily are really, really important decisions because
life-changing, aren't they?
They're life-changing because it affects anything we do, we have to speak to the social worker first to either get it approved or whoever's got delegated authority. We won't go into that because that's a whole other can of worms to open. But everything has to go through the social worker. If a child has an accident, email the social worker. Child goes missing, email the social worker. Hospital, email the social worker. Anything, they haven't gone to school, make sure you CC the social worker into the emails. So they get all of that. That's the majority of the paperwork I have to do in a day. Times that by 30. That is a lot of decision making for
a lot of emails.
A lot of
I was just going to say, your inbox must be crazy.
My paperwork, I get into work in a day and I go, oh my God, that's so much paperwork. And then I think, oh my God, like they've got a multitude of different kids. And I always think of it, like, especially like when a social worker will come out to the home to visit the child and they're like, yeah, I've just been here and here today, I've just got to go to one more house and then I get to go, and then I'm going to go home. And I think, wow, like you have got to put like everything and all into it. It does consume you, because obviously, we'll look after the kids and we do all that, and we're at the forefront. But you're making decisions for these kids that are ultimately life changing and will change where they, whatever happens to them next.
Living outcomes, almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as busy,
the development and all that, it's a lot.
And as busy as you are, you've both managed to come into John Moores Uni and give guest lectures for me. So thanks very much.
I'm still doing it with a smile.
Carla's more busy than me.
I know. Thank you for bringing and enriching experiences to our students, which is amazing. So when you were little, were you aware of any? Did you get any support with your dad being away?
None. No, I didn't even know. I don't think I knew. There's quite a gap between me and my siblings, so I don't even think they done prison visits. Not that I'm aware of. And he was in and out quite a bit, so it was different ones and like different people would take me and long drives, little drives. It was all different all the time, and I didn't go regular. Like I wasn't as regular as you were going. So it was all just completely different. But no, I'd never seen a group until I met you. To be honest,
So was that must have been kind of weird then, like, you know, to have like been the adult and seen all these kids like having the support that you never got.
Once again, I don't think it did feel weird because I don't think, I never got it. I'm just glad that someone else got it for them, you know, like, and that it is out there. It's just, it's so needed. It's something that, like Liv says, I'm really busy. I haven't had the time yet, but it's in my heart and I would like to do again and continue. And that it's just beautiful to see them having that understanding skills and then how much change has come around from the things from Time Matters. Yeah. You know, there's been so much, hasn't there? That's like, I remember we'd done a massive session on when the police first come in and how the police could do that better and how the social workers could do that better. Actually, we done as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I hope to think that the police do learn from things like that as well. Because it certainly stays with me in my practice.
Yeah, and that's I guess part of what we try to do in Time Matters, isn't it? It's a lot of change making activities. And interestingly, like we just did a few episodes back about the media, but you were one of my research participants about, you know, the impact of court reporting and media reporting when you've got a parent in prison. So thank God that initial paper's just been accepted for publication, but there's a long way to go, isn't there, in terms of improving things for families and
and then do you remember when we done that work and then I done it as my dissertation because it was like stuck with me, even though I was in my placement in a local authority by then, but I was still like, I want to come back and do bits. So I'd done my dissertation on it as well. And then the difference in other countries and how the laws that they have around like social media and news reporting and stuff and how they have to prove that it's factual, I think just should be here as well. Like it seems so simple, doesn't it? Just prove what you're saying is true before you print it.
I was 100%. Saying before, it's like, I think doing the job role I do now, and because obviously going to Time Matters and stuff, I went as someone who was being supported and saying my story and stuff, and then I got into more of laws and legislations before I even started this job because I was more like, I actually want to know what is in the government protecting me as a young person. Like, I actually want to know what my rights are. Like, I need to know how I'm getting safeguarded. What are my human rights? Like, what am I entitled to? Because something's got to give. Do you know what I mean? Something has got to give. And I looked at like the Children's Rights Act, the Safeguarding Act, and I looked at working together in partnership, and I told a story about what I did in school, which I should have been safeguarded better. Working in partnership should have been at the forefront of that, and it wasn't. Basically, I was able to change all my details, all my emergency contact details through school without my family finding out, and my teacher let it happen. But I was saying how you've got all these guidances, policies and procedures that are law and written in legislation of working together to safeguard kids, the Children's Rights Act, all the children's rights and what they're entitled to and what should be happening. And then you've got the media that's there, that's producing addresses, names, ages. And I've literally just learnt about before in our previous episode why they do that. But then there's literally the other side of, okay, but how are we focusing on what's going on here? How are we safeguarding them kids? How are we doing all that? And I've just, the line's so blurred at the minute that it's like, why can't we possibly have things that are in other countries to make sure it's fact checked properly? And
I'm the same as you. I think when we done that conference that day and the police and that spoke and they told us why it was, I can see that side as well. I can see that it's in the public interest to know, and it's obviously because people have got same names, isn't it? So they don't want to make sure that they get the right person, and that's why your address is put out there. But then I think nobody from like police or anything come to me and said, okay, your address is going to be in the paper. Do you need anything? Do you need help? Do you need support? I was on the street with people going, did you see what happened in that house over there? And I was like, that's my house. You know, like, and I had to like,
hard though.
And I'm not a confrontational person. I'm the complete opposite. But I had to sort of be in that situation and because I was so embarrassed. I was just like head down and getting on with it. So I think if more people are like making the children aware and you're getting ready for it, you know, then
you're right. And I think that's what we need to be better at as professionals is clear communication to vulnerable children and families. Like, at least if something's happening that they don't like, at least explain what is happening, when it's happening, you know, what that, rather than just people being blindsided by actions. I think we need, children should be explained, you know, what their rights are in child-friendly language, and families should be like, look,
or even
this
just
is going to happen.
Even just saying, giving a, because the amount of phone calls I get from the police is unbelievable. Not because I'm in trouble, by the way, guys. But not work, like just personal stuff, like with my mum and stuff. Like the police will still ring me like about my mum. So it's always on an unknown number or anything like that. If you can ring me that many times to track my mum down, please at least just ask me, hey, is she still living in that address? Do you know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, it's fact checking, in it. 9 times out of 10, they don't live in that address, or they're not in that address, or they don't live in that address anymore. So it's ringing just to make sure, before we publish this in the paper, are they living at this address? Because then you still, I don't know, I mean, you're saying it like, they say, like, it's the public right to know, to keep them safe, but if it's the wrong address, you're not doing it.
And then you're putting other people at risk.
And you're putting other people at risk.
Yeah.
So you're not keeping no one safe. Do you get me?
Yeah.
I think lots of the thing with Time Matters is we were giving the children, the young people, the tools to cope with all them things, weren't it? And that was not ever given to me. Nobody ever explained that, and we were all thrown into it. You know, it wasn't our day to day, like my mums and my siblings. You know, it wasn't our day to day.
Just get on with it. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, so if you were to put a message out there to families who feel like, oh gosh, you know, we've had a referral to Children's Social Services, like, what would you want them to know?
I think, to be honest, because it always comes out and then it sometimes can get worse if you're not honest, because honesty is easy to handle. I love the kids I work with, whether they do it, if they're screaming and shouting or they do it and they tell me calmly, as long as they're telling me what they want, I'm happy. Just so you can't do stuff you don't understand, can you? So if I know the situation, I can deal with it and I can help. So the honesty part is amazing. I know that's not always easy. I know it's hard to say, okay, I've been in this relationship or that relationship and it's not good, but then we can work on it. But I think also not being, like, we are human, we're not scary, you know, we're all, look at my situation, we've all been in things that
are challenging.
Yeah, and I don't judge anybody. I think we're all in the situations we're in. Half it's not because we've chose it, it's because it's been thrown on us and we've had to deal with it, isn't it? Or necessarily not deal with it because we haven't been handed the right tools, like we talked about before. So I think just not to be so fearful, because we're not there to do bad. We're there to help. We want to help. We really want to make things better and your life better and the children's lives better. But it's not always come across like that, does it?
Yeah.
I understand.
And I think the media, again, have, some part to play in the fact that social workers don't get great press out there. So I think that fuels a lot of fear in families. And look, don't get me wrong, if I suddenly thought there was a social worker knocking on my door, would I be scared, despite knowing amazing social workers, despite teaching a module on social work in the university, despite everything? Would I? Of course I'd be scared. I think it's absolutely natural to be scared. But I think every student that I've ever met who've either been on placement or been in my module, if you ask them, why are you doing this? Why do you even want to do social work? They'll always say it's because I want to help people. They'll always say...
No one does it for the money.
No.
Or the press, or the stigma.
No. I'd love to see the good stories. And I'm not saying share, like, obviously I'm children's, so I'm not saying share children's stories, but to see the good out there as well. I think you only ever see the bad stories in the press, don't you? But there's so much good work getting done.
There's so much, like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand how much good work was getting done until I got into the line of work that I do. Like, when I was little, called her Elaine the Pain all the time. But Eileen, I love Eileen.
Shout out to Eileen.
I was gutted when Eileen was leaving, and then, sorry, Lorna, I was gutted when Eileen was leaving. I was getting Lorna because I didn't know her.
She hadn't met me yet.
I've
got some weird woman called Lorna.
Eileen's like, I've passed you over to a lovely woman called Lorna's going to come and see you. And I was
Lives fuming.
I was like, Eileen, love, I've just got used to you. Are you messing? You sending out another Elaine the Pain? What's this one going to be like now? Bet you
she's going
to be coming in my house, sitting at my chair, trying to talk to me about my mum. Not having it. Don't want it, Eileen. You best come back.
Change is hard, isn't it?
No, honestly.
Change is so hard.
I was like gutted that I actually got dead emotional that I weren't going to see Eileen again. And then Lorna came in and I was like, this is boss, it was an upgrade. Can't believe
Sorry,
it. I was like, yes, see you later, Eileen. Do you want?
Eileen's not listening.
Lorna now. No,
Wait till I get upgraded.
I can't wait. What's the next upgrade? Come on, Eileen, let me know who's after Lorna. Dealt with the now since I was 8 and 25, waiting on the next upgrade. I'll pay a membership.
On you now, don't live after 18 too long.
I know, I'm not classed as a young person when I'm 26. I'm out here on my own. There's
What's that all about?
I'm 26 this year.
It's scary going in new brackets.
No, I can't.
No, don't. I'm not even
scroll for your
talking.
date of birth.
I know, isn't it? It's like, why am I in this age bracket?
Stop
How
it.
is that even
What do you
possible?
mean?
Disgusting.
Stop now. Oh,
You
stop.
still look gorgeous, don't worry.
I feel like I look about 19, you know?
You
Every
do.
time
You
I go
got a
out,
baby
someone
face.
goes, oh my God, how old are you?
And you do. You have a
Yeah,
baby
no, you
face.
do. Do you know what? I'm ready, so ready for Botox.
Like, can we all
so
go
ready.
after this?
I get stressed out that much in work. I think I'm ready for Botox. I say that.
I love it.
I say to them in work, I say to the kids in work, I go, oh, you stress me out that much, I'm going to need Botox. And you know what they say to me? Gotta afford it first.
Cheeky.
And then I've said to one of the kids before, do you know when you're having that conversation, I go, why do you think I'm doing this work? Like, why? And they go, it's definitely not for the money because you don't get paid enough. And I go, how do you know? And they go, because the shoes you're walking around in.
Really? They know everything.
terrorise me.
But
They
that's,
know
I
everything.
think, because obviously yours are going to be looked after children, their observation skills are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're all-
You cannot.
It's just a skill.
They're actually skilled. They're skilled people, these kids, you know, I'm telling you now, like, I think, what in the world, like, the missings are my favourite thing, how clever they are about, like, going missing and all. And you know what? Like, I'll follow them. And then I've followed them for half an hour. And then there's one time I've been following a kid for half an hour. I'm out of breath at this point in asthmatic. I followed this kid for half an hour, and I'm thinking I've left me blooming alien in the house. Can't breathe. And turn around and gone, I'm starving. And I've gone, mate, same. I've been following you for the past how long? I'm proper hungry. And they go, what day is it? I go, oh, it's Friday. Oh, it's takeout night. Come on, we'll go back. I've walked for an hour because you've decided you want to get off. And now you've decided actually it's takeout night. I want me Mackies, I'm going home.
You see that comfy with you that they'll go
Honestly,
back down. You need an emergency backpack at the door with your inhaler in.
No, I do.
grab on the
Honestly,
way
I
out.
don't know why I left without me inhaler, but because I don't drive them on foot, so someone else follows in the car. But we haven't had a missing for ages. But I think these kids, honestly, have just got hearts of gold. They all have. And working in this line of work It's my favourite thing.
It is.
I agree. It's what keeps me in the job.
Yeah.
I love it, and it is rewarding. But I stay there for the kids and the young people,
Same.
100%.
I was debating whether to go into social work.
I think you'd be good. I'll help you.
She'd be brilliant.
Shall I go into it?
You'd be amazing.
Let me get Australia out the way first. I've got so many things that I want to do.
Do your
I'm going to be a
travelling.
social worker, a traveller.
You could do a social worker in Australia.
You'd be amazing at any profession. I think like yourself, like I think when you've got empathy and you know you've had your own stuff and you the ability to put yourself in someone else, those are exactly the professionals that you want in your life.
Carla, you are such an empath.
But you wouldn't want those, would you? Like someone coming into your house and telling you what to do and being, you know, and I'm not saying I always do it right. I'm sure the kids won't always agree, you know, that.
No, we can't get everything right. We can
but I will
make
always
mistakes.
try my best and I'll always, and I think that's hugely important as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all you
And I
do is try
care.
your best.
You know, I really, really cared about them, which
Yeah.
is just
Whoever
lovely. It's just so
your
lovely.
social work team are, they must be so like glad to have you on their
They're
team.
a lovely team. Really lovely team.
No,
Yeah.
I think you
honestly.
do. I think that it's just what's being put out in the media and how it's stigmatised about social workers, and like how it's seen a lot of it's learned behaviours as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's what gets fed, and you being able to come on here and say what job role you do and how you work the time matters and how you are a social worker and you've had lived experience. Like I know from my kids who I work with, if I turn around and said, if I turn around and was speaking to one of my kids and their social worker went, well, I've had lived experience or I've gone through this, they go, nah, no, you haven't. They'd be shocked.
Yeah.
They would actually be shocked. It'd shock them. And I think because they know I've got this podcast, so the older one knows I've got a podcast and they've watched a few episodes. I know they have. I can't hide it, and I've openly said to her, look, I can't hide it and I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I will deal with the repercussions from that. It doesn't faze me. The positive relationships I've built with her now, because she's like, oh my God, like I didn't see that, is amazing. Like she can come to me about a lot more things, and I feel like she thinks like she knows that I can relate to her on a lot of
lovely?
things.
Yeah, it's
and it's
beautiful.
so nice because it just makes me be able to like let them know, like, yeah, I haven't openly said like this is what I've been through, but you know I have because I know you've seen the podcast, so you're a lot more comfortable to come to me with them things.
There's a young lad from Time Matters who came to Edge Hill University with us yesterday to speak at an event, and we were talking about, you know, what can teachers do to help, and he said he's got this amazing relationship with one of his teachers because his teachers shared with him that when he was a kid, his dad also went to prison. So they have this amazing relationship where they're able to say to each other quite openly, you know, I get it. Yeah. And, you know, the teacher, and he's just like, I absolutely love talking to that teacher because he's told me he went through what I went through when he was a kid. And I think, you know, there's appropriate levels of sharing, but I think that's a good thing to be able to say, you know, I do
It
understand.
removes that shame, doesn't it?
It
That
removes
embarrassment.
shame.
You know, that embarrassment that you feel.
Yeah.
It takes that away, doesn't it? If someone else goes, you know, I've been through that. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That's like when we
And
did
you're a
counselling.
professional and
Yeah.
you're doing well in life and you can go through that.
I just love the fact that you've came on, to be honest.
With very short notice, I have to
I know,
say.
like very short.
I'm very
notice.
privileged.
Did I only ask you yesterday or the day before? Was either
Tuesday.
Yeah.
What are we
It's
not
like,
Thursday,
Carla,
Tuesday?
what you doing Thursday?
My
You want to be
stomach
on a
dropped. I
podcast?
was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay,
She
I'll do
was
it.
like,
Gonna
"Well,
say,
we'll just check what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, I'll come.
honestly though,
Like,
like every time we get a guest on, I say this all the time, and it's because of the recording times we have to keep it like dead on, because we record like 5 in a day. We have to keep it like dead on the hour, because once we go over it, then it gets shorter and shorter for each guest. So I feel like we haven't even scratched any surface. I say this to every guest, but we genuinely haven't with you. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna need you to come back on.
You might have to come
Gladly.
back.
Oh, I'm getting me ease now.
You're
I'm
in your
comfortable.
ease, she's comfy.
It's like, yeah, she loves it. You know where
You're
we're
gonna have to
at
host
now.
it. But Lorna's invited about 6 million people to host it after I go through.
Yeah, she's abandoning
You
me.
can
So-
still host from us. Do a
I
little,
never can. I've been told by
teams.
Liverpool Podcast Studios.
Liverpool
I can't.
Podcast Studios said you can. I
Yeah,
couldn't
they
get my
told
words
me.
out there.
So yeah, it's happening. But
No, thank you,
Thank
Carla,
you.
with
How-
no notice jumping in.
Very,
it's-
very welcome always.
But yeah, it's been amazing. How we like to end our podcast episodes is we like to say what we are grateful for. So would you like to start with what we're grateful for?
I think I'm grateful for my family because we've been through really hard times and really good times, and we're always there, and it's what's kept me sane and happy and like to just do well in life with their support.
Yeah.
I'm always grateful for them. They're
Beautiful
amazing.
answer.
I love that answer.
I love that answer. Go
What's
on.
yours?
What's yours?
You next. I'm struggling still.
I'm grateful for guests that are willing to jump on the podcast with like little to no notice and just do it with complete enthusiasm. And I'm grateful for the fact that we've been able to stay in touch over the years, and we might not see each other a lot. And just how much you brought to the table when you've come to like how much you've changed people's, certainly within the Time Matters family, the perspective of what social workers are, because people are like, what, you've got someone who's trained to be a social worker coming on our like residential, and then they're like, oh, we love Carla. And I'm grateful for that. I'm definitely grateful for that.
No pressure, Liv.
Oh no. I'm grateful for
The fact that we're going to go and eat after this.
No, do you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for the fact I can take 2 painkillers in 2 minutes because I am in agony. No, I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for Carla that's been on today. I'm grateful for my nan for coming on. So last minute, the periods as well. Like we booked this in 4 days ago because I was like, June is back to back. But no, I'm just grateful that you've came on. I'm grateful that you're going to come on again. And I'm saying that out loud because it's going to get posted and now you've got
know
to. So
I
you've
would
got
anyway.
no choice. But yeah, like just thank you so much for coming on. I'm grateful for you.
Honestly, I really, really feel privileged. I'm really thank you for having me.
Oh, she's
lovely.
coming back.
Lovely.
But as always, if you've got any questions, email will be at the bottom. If you've got any questions about social workers, pass them on to us and we'll ask Carla. Because she can even come on and address some of them on the next
That's a good
episode.
idea.
I might actually get some questions that a few kids want to ask. Maybe do that in Time Matters. Get some kids to write some questions they want to ask one of our guests.
That's
and
a good idea.
It'll be
Love
Carla.
that.
Yeah, that's what we can do for
like
the next one. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for the support. Hope you come to the next one. Hope you enjoyed the last one. Hope you enjoyed this one.
Sure you did.
Yeah, as always, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.